how to make a Party Next Door dark R&B type beat. So in this video I want to show you a project of mine, and I'm going to explain you each instrument and layer that I put on it and how I made it, so you can actually start to build and make your own beats in this style. So this is the beat that I'm going to show you. So first thing that I actually pay attention is to the BPM. Usually beats like this have a lower BPM. Right here I'm using 101. Usually it's like 100 to lower than 100. So you can go your BPM to the 19s and something like this. 19 to 100 I think is a good BPM. I think Party Next Door even have some lower BPMs like 88. So we're going for to a very slow type of beat. And right here I made these drums. So this is very simple actually. So we have like this snare. As you can see, I have the snare right here repeating. As you can see, the snare repeats right here, but I put it a lower velocity so the volume will be lower. So we have this kind of effect which sounds like a delay. So I always like to add this, but this is just an option of things that you can do it. And the hi-hats over it is very simple. I actually going to delete this hi-hat and make a brand new one so you can see how I made it. So the hi-hat, I'm going to go right here and I'm going to put fill each 4 steps. Then you're going to fill the hi-hats on each 4 steps. So it will be something like this. So this is sounding good. Sometimes if you want like more minimalistic hi-hats and drums, you can even delete those right here and leave it even more minimalistic. And then I'm going to open the piano roll, and right here we can add some hi-hat rolls, that the faster hi-hats stuff. I usually like to go right here on the paint tool, and I'm going right here, and I always like to put like 1/3 step. This one I think sounds very nice. Once you make this, you just click and drag and we'll make the hi-hat. So each one of this right here, 1/3 step, 1/6 beat, each one of this will make a different pattern of hi-hats, so you can play around. So let's put something right here. So I think this is sounding good. And you can always play with the notes around here. And you can play too right here. And go to note fine pitch. And if you want those effects like the pitch is decreasing, a easier way is actually to click and drag down. Then you can make this. So if you like this type of sound, you can always do this. And besides that, the drums is something very simple. Once you have the drums, I always like to put some kind of bass preset. Right here I'm using a preset from Diva. So right here you can check the preset that I'm using. But you just go to the section of bass of whatever instruments, VST that you like to use, and search for type of sounds that have this kind of sound of a bass that keeps going if you keep pressing the bass. As you can hear it, the bass is still happening. So go for these types of bass that gives more ambience to the beats. I always like to add those, and I made a very simple melody like this. And the reason that I'm using something so simple is that this is going to set the chord progression that we are going to make. So we are going to build the chord progression using those notes as tonic notes, which are the first notes of the chords. So I'm going to build chords like this, okay? I'm going to use those notes as reference to build like this. We are not going to use like this because this is actually a bass, so we're not going to make chords on the bass. And other stuff that I always like to use is to actually have a separate bass that is actually the bass. So this right here, that is a bass, I remove the bass from the bass. So if we go right here to the EQ, you will see that I'm actually cutting the most part of the bass, because I only use this because I want to add like a texture to the bass. So I will have later, I will add a bass that is going to happening right here, and this will just happen over the bass. If I leave like this, when I add the other bass that I want, they will sound very bad because those bass will crash each other. So I just cut those frequencies. And after we made this, we actually can already make the bass already. So we just copy those notes and paste on the actual bass that I'm going to use, which is this one. So I just copy the same notes, alright? And right here, we have a little slide, an octave higher. So it's the same note, just an octave higher because it sounds cool. So we'll make a slide like this. I'm using this Diva preset, and this preset from Diva, it makes the slide naturally. Just putting the notes right here, it will make a slide, as you can hear it. But if you are not using Diva and maybe some native instrument from FL Studio, you can just click 2 times and mark this option of slides, and then we'll make the slide. After this, we are going to build the chords. I always like to use a pad to make the chords because we like the ambience of these types of beats, right? So we want some ambience. Right here, I'm using Omnisphere. Alright? Oh, which preset of Omnisphere? I like to ask which presets I'm using. I mean, you can search around, you have to make your own sound selection, right? So right here, as you can see, I'm using a preset of pads that is on the pads plus strings. That is the section of pads of Omnisphere. So this is the presets. Just go on whatever VST that you like to use and search for pads. As you can see, we have a lot of pads right here. Just go and pick the pads that you like the most, okay? It's important that you make your own sound selection. And those chords, I'm going to show you actually how to build the chords. I'm going to copy this and paste right here. So this is the notes that we made, right? The bass line, alright? And now to actually build the chords, right here we have the pads, right? To build the chords, which are the same notes that we already made it, we are going to go right here on this option and set the right key that we made those melodies. Right here, this is on A minor, which, by the way, is all the white notes, alright? So this is the easiest scale and key that you can actually use. But let's suppose you use any other key. You are going to pick the other key that you use. So you put right here minor natural and put like F. Oh, I made the beat on F. I made this right here on F. Then once you set right here your key, you're going to have brighter lines, which are the notes inside of this key, and the darker lines, which are the notes outside of this key. So basically, to make the chords and melodies, you are going to use only those bright lines. And more specifically, you are going to make a bright line, skip the next one, make a bright line, skip the next one, and make a bright line. And if you would like to add a 7, skip this bright line and go to the next one. This way you will be building chords that will be inside of this key, and you can make chord progression whatever you want. In this case is A minor, right? So A minor natural, and right here it's only the white notes, right? So just make a white note, skip this one, make a white note, skip this one, make a white note. But with the grids right here on the background, it's even easier to actually build the chords. I'm going to have a bright line, skip this one, go to this one, skip this one, go to this one, skip this one, go to this one, and this way we build chords very easily. Alright? And this way, any key that you put right here, any notes that you put, we can actually make all the chords anytime that you want. Oh, the chord right here will be this, then right here As you can see, it's super fast to actually build chords using this method. I have my beat making course, which I always leave on the description, so if you want to learn more with me about music production, you can check it out on the description. And I have too my sample pack, which is a very nice sample pack of vocals, and have other stuff on the pack too, so you can check them both on the link of the description. And on each website will be all the info that you need, with the best price that you have ever seen, I guarantee you. But let's continue the stuff about the chord progression. Once you make this, you can actually play around. So right here, we have the notes of the bass, which are the tonic notes. But we have right here, oh, I want to add the 7. So you can add the 7 on each and every chord, and just the chord that you want. You can play around other stuff, you can make inversions. What are inversions? You just pick a note and drop a lower octave. So right here, we have E, and we put right here on E, a octave lower. For you guys that like the shortcuts, this is Control and arrow up. You make this, right? So let's make an inversion right here. Let's make an inversion right here. Oh, I want to go this right here. So you can play around with the inversions as you want. So after you made your chord progression, in this case, in this beat, I actually add other pads. But these other pads, I mean, just copy the chords and paste right here. But these other pads, I'm using a volume automation, right? So I went right here, created a new automation, right? Create automation clip. And then I made this automation right here, which will make those pads increase the volume. Let's put right here just the pads with automation. So we have this happening. Very easy. The beginning of the chords, I put the volume way down and then growing. Then at the beginning of this chords, way down and growing. So I made this, and then after we have some very simple melody over it right here, which is this melody right here. Let's put only the melody. As you can see, very simple, just playing with the notes that are inside of this key, right? The bright lines. As you can see, it's a very simple melody. In this case, I built another volume automation on it, so this melody will be something like this. Let's put only the melody right here so you can hear it. So just effect, alright? At the beginning of the notes, the lower volume. Why I did this? Because I thought that it's sounding cool. You don't actually need to make a volume automation to everything on your project, but I like to do it sometimes, and sometimes it sounds good, so I keep on my beat. And the last thing is the vocal sample, one where we have those vocal chops right here. I always make my vocal samples, I always make my vocal chops and everything. If you don't like to sing over your beats and make your own vocal samples, this is exactly what I have on my sample pack. But basically, I just sing over the beats. So once I have the beats without the sample, I just sing over it. So I literally record my voice. Yeah, oh yeah, oh my god, ooh. And after I record myself, I just go right here on the effects. I always like to change a little bit on the formant, so right here I put the formant a little lower, so this will make my voice sound a little lower. And I have right here octave up, so I have this right here is the original pitch, but I put an octave higher. And then I always like to add some effects because it will make the voice sounding good. So we have right here some auto tune on the right key, and we have two IQ. I don't like to actually leave a lot of bright notes on my voice on the sample, on vocal samples, because if we put something like this, it will make like the vocal sample appear too much, and it's going to be hard to an artist sing over it. So I always like to cut a lot of frequencies so it sounds like an instrument inside of the beat and not like a vocal. And we have right here some reverb happening and some delay too. And that's basically it. If you want to learn more about making beats with me, I have my online course, you can check in the description, and I have too my sample pack, and this is the beat.